you. So, welcome all to everyone who's in the chamber and to everyone watching from home. We have some apologies. We have apology from Mayor Clark, from Councillor Dermody, from Panya Coote, and anything else, Michael? Is that all? And that's all. So thank you. Are there any declarations? Oh, sorry. Will someone move the apologies?
Move the apologies.
Thank you. And seconded. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against carried. Does anyone wish to make a declaration of interest? No? Okay. So we'll move to the first paper, which is the adoption of the 25-26 annual plan. And Rhiannon, you're going to take us through that, I believe.
Kia ora. I'll take the report as read. This annual plan is the documentation now of all of the deliberations and decisions that this council has made over the last few meetings. It's really giving effect to all of those decisions, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Rhiannon, just a quick one from me then. Can you just confirm that, or otherwise, that there is nothing in what we're looking at today which is any different from what Council has previously approved?
Nothing substantively different. No, it's giving effect to the decisions made at the annual plan deliberations meeting, where you ended up at the rates increase, the forecast rates increase of 7.11. It also gives effect to that further paper at the previous council meeting where you discussed the question of KiwiSaver and left the amount unchanged. There will, of course, as there always are with the finish up of budget changes, minor changes here and there on budget lines. Obviously, the plan document itself includes the overall introduction from the Mayor and from the Chief Executive, includes all the details on the plan itself for the community to explain the plan, but you're correct, there's no substantive changes from previous meetings.
Questions? Anyone? For anybody who's watching and wonders why such an important document can pass without a lot of questions, then, you know, it's been discussed at many meetings previously by Council. So this is the time when we formally adopt, but it has been discussed and debated many times before. I see no questions. Michael?
Thank you, through yourself, Chair. Just given there's no questions, I'd just like to add a very big thank you to the organisation in relation to the work that's been undertaken in relation to the annual plan. It does take a lot of hours of work in relation to bringing this information together, so I just want to put that big shout out to my team and just say thank you on behalf of myself to the organisation.
For Council too.
Yeah.
So can we take all four of the recommendations?
I'm happy to move the recommendations as a whole, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Seconded by Darren. Any further discussion?
And can I just add to what the Chief Executive has said, thanks to the staff, particularly the finance team. There's been an endless amount of work. I do note, for those who are watching on live stream, we have many times discussed the reason why Resolution 2 refers to an unbalanced budget, and our intention that that is brought back into balance in succeeding financial years. Look, a great deal of discussion, thought, immense time and a lot of financial understanding and detail has gone into the point we're at today to do this adoption, and I'm very happy to move the recommendations.
Thank you. Are there any other discussion? Yes, Alex.
Just one quick question, probably for Patricia, but are you able to remind me what if we were had to fund up to 100% depreciation as a result of the water services delivery program, what does that extra 10% equate to in terms of percentage for a rates increase if we are having to bring that up to 100% next annual plan?
I'm going to have to come back to you on that one. I can't remember it off the top of my head.
That's all right. Yeah, just sensitive that is a central government change, perhaps, that we'll just have to pick up. We have no choice but to pick up to 100% if it does come out that way.
Is it the case, thank you, Alex, is it the case, Patricia, that effectively any percentage which affects the water rate has about 1/3 impact on the overall rate? So that 10% might be 3% or so. I know you've said you haven't actually worked it out yet, but just so that people don't think it's 20% or 50% or something.
It will only have an impact on those that receive water.
Sure.
So that's why my normal numbers I'd have in the top of my head, I can't recall because we're having to work it out differently. We can work it out, but it is differently because of the base isn't the normal base we'd work from. But that's the reason why we've got the two rates increases. So I think we're sitting at about 14 from memory for water users. That would be up over 20, I think, from off the top of my head, if we were to fully fund, or just below 20%.
Any other comments? So no. So we've got a mover and a seconder. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. So we move now to the setting rates for the 25-26 year paper. Stephanie? No, it's you, Patricia.
No,
I looked up before I said.
Afternoon, councillors. So this, now that you have adopted the annual plan, this actually puts in place the mechanisms that council needs to actually collect the rates from the ratepayers of the city, and the various decimals and rates in the dollar of capital value that we need for the various targeted and general rates. It also sets the payment dates and the penalty dates, and pretty much follows a standard layout required by law. It has been reviewed by external legal, as we would do with in any year for rate setting, because if you get it wrong, you cannot fix it unless by a lot of additional hard work and, to some extent, a local act of parliament to fix an error in a rate setting resolution.
Patricia, can you just confirm, I guess the same question as Rhiannon, that there is no material difference between anything that we see in this paper and what we have already seen and approved as council?
This puts into effect what and the numbers will be different. This gives a overall 7.11% rates increase when we take the two lots together. The general rates have gone up by a different percentage, and if I can flick through to when we split the rates, when we went through in deliberations, that goes up by that amount, and the water rates have gone up by their set percentage, which gives the individual charges for each residential property. So this is it works backwards. If you think about a very large piece of large algebra equation, it works backwards to get to the number of rates income that we need for the city.
So it resolves and gives effect to what we have already approved in previous meetings and shows the detail which maybe we haven't seen in some others. Is there any questions for Patricia? Yes, Councillor Pottinger.
Just confirming that I'm right in assuming that the stormwater rate does not include this year the proposed changes to semi-rural places. Is that right?
Correct. It has been rolled back to what it was as agreed in the LTP.
When will the methodology behind that come back to council? Because it created a lot of it's something that just needs to be presented in a way that we can all understand.
We are busy looking at the data still, and that'll be sometime later in the year, if not early in the new year.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Someone move.
Happy as Chair of Finance to move the 2 recommendations, Mr Chair.
Thank you. And seconded by Councillor Boyle. Is there any other discussion? If not, then all those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. So, tab 5, we have the pre-election report. This, of course, is the report which is produced by the Chief Executive and is actually not for us to approve. It's simply for information. It's the Chief Executive's view of the world, if I can put it like that. So the recommendation is that we receive this report. Are there any comment you want to make on it, Michael?
Yes, through yourself, Chair. Quite right. This is the CE view of the world in relation to council going forward. It's there for all candidates coming in, but also for existing councillors to have a look and see in relation to those challenges coming up in the new years. What I would highlight in the content, and I also have Rhiannon here to help answer some of the questions. What I would highlight, Lo, is we're still in a position of significant regulatory changes. That is going to be a focus in the next year, maybe 2 years, in relation to bedding some of those in, but also there's a lot coming through in relation to the RMA. We're still waiting to see how that lands and see what changes that will impact on the organisation, so you'll see a flavour of that coming through. It also highlights our current position, and from a council we're in a good position. Financially we're doing quite well, but there are always areas in relation to improvement, so we are very much focused on efficiency and effectiveness going forward as an organisation, have been for some time. But having said that, there are those pressures that I say about the regulatory side, so you will see some impact, and a big shout out in relation to the fact it's already in the media around consultants. Look, I'd highlight in relation to that, for us it's only 2% of our overall spend over the same period. It's and the reason I say shout out to that is because that shows great pride in my team being able to absorb a lot of those costs and a lot of that work. Quite proud of the involvement we've had both locally, nationally, regionally in relation to supporting our colleagues in this space, and hopefully we can continue to do so. I'll leave it there and go to questions, Chair.
Any questions for Michael? No, so we are asked to receive the report. Will someone move that, please? Thank you, Barry. Seconded by Steve. Any other discussion? All those in favour say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Turn then to tab 6, which is the speed review. So Rhiannon and Doug. Rhiannon's there already. Doug, are you coming up to join us?
Kia ora. So this report is really bringing the detail forward from a previous Infrastructure and Projects Committee meeting, which had a lot of the detail around the speed review, and noted that a plan for consultation would be brought back. So speed, as you will be aware, is dealt with within the roading and traffic bylaw. There are 3 roads where the team are proposing a change to the speed limit, which we will consult on. That information was provided in that infrastructure and projects report, but I'm sure if there are any questions, Doug would be happy to speak to those further. Secondly, section 32 of the roading and traffic bylaw allows council to resolve shared zones. For completeness, we're proposing to include those shared zones within the bylaw itself so that all that information is available in one place to the public. There are 2 areas of shared zone, one which is already effectively being implemented along Esk Street, and the other shared zone is to enable that transfer or transit rather of buses through Watkina Place into Esk Street West once that development is complete. So this report is really around adopting those for consultation.
Yeah, so a question from me first, then we'll open it up. to you, Doug, when you, I think we last discussed this subject in the middle of 2024, and I recall at that time you showed us some data which showed a very substantial reduction in accidents between 2021 and 2023. We made the speed limit changes in 2022, so you can never put cause and effect together, but coincidentally or otherwise, there was a 25% reduction in the number of accidents in Invercargill, and in fact, in 2023, we had 0 fatalities compared to an average of 4 during the previous 10 years. So my question to you is whether we have data for 2024 yet, and whether that's showing the same trend?
Through you, Chair. Yes, it is showing the same trend. What hasn't really changed is the severity. And the speed is related more to severity than occurrence. So the issue with reducing or amending speeds is to reduce the severity of any crashes that happen. Crashes are often related to the environment, and you'll see those 3 roads there. The environment itself is what triggers the speed limit. So if it's narrow, if it has a lot of side friction, side friction is a lot of driveways, a lot of residences, that sort of thing. So anything that impacts on vehicles accessing the road, we look at the speed because there's sight distances that we need to look at. Just in terms of the crash rates, yes, they are still dropping from that time. I haven't actually had an opportunity today to have a look at it, but I can certainly come back to you on that.
I think it'd be very helpful for Council to see those numbers when you have a chance to look at it, because when you showed the numbers before, it was a very impressive drop, 25%. And again, the fatality rate had gone from average 4 to 0. So you can never say it was a result of reduced speed, but at the same time, you could never say it wasn't. So it was, certainly my mind back a year ago was that we really needed to increase the speed limits. But that data that we saw then, made me think twice. So anyway, we have in the paper proposals to change the speed limit on 3 roads, one of them upwards, the famous Curran Road, and 2 of them downwards. Do you want to make any particular comments on those individually before we take questions?
I could do, yes. Curran Road is that's a response to further examination and response to feedback that we've had. We're comfortable with it being 80k at this stage from our opinion. Macquarie Street and Retreat Road, we stand by those. We believe that, as I said before, the side friction and the width and the nature and the environment warrants those speeds being as we've stated.
So we'll take general questions then from anyone. Yes, thank you, Councillor Pottinger.
Thanks, Chair. You talk about community feedback. What format does that feedback come in? Obviously, we have a channel through the front desk called Request for Service. How did we gain this feedback?
To my knowledge, we polled the residents individually. Yeah.
The actual residents of Curran's Road?
That's my understanding, yeah.
Right, okay. No, I was just wondering. Was the users, because sometimes people use Curran's Road as purely
As a through route. Yeah, I understand.
View to those living in Curran's Road.
Yeah.
Perhaps have kids waiting on buses or,
Sure. Through you, Chair, yes, that would be the case. We have had people directly ask us about the speed. Not necessarily the residents, you're absolutely right. But we feel this is a good fit for it.
Okay, so no doubt during the consultation, the residents will have their say, and so will the users.
Absolutely, it'll be the wide consultation, so yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Councillor Stewart.
Hey, it's not concerning these roads here. It's concerning South City Mall. On the South City Mall, with vehicles being able to do right turn off each set of the lights, coming south or north. I've had a lot of complaints from people, and there's been a lot of near misses there. Like people will go up to the lights and then turn their indicator on, and no one can see it behind, and then there's vehicles way past the supermarket. Is there an option for us to look at that? I know it's an offset intersection, but...
Yeah, through you, Chair. One tool you can do is please indicate. There is a sign available to us to put up, indicate whether you're doing right or left. I know in the past there's roads where the sight distance isn't great, and so people don't see anyone indicate until they're right on the intersection, so we do encourage that sort of thing. But I can certainly look at it, yeah.
Are there any other questions? No, I don't see any. So I think in this case again we can, I don't know, we'll take them individually. So will someone move recommendation number 1? Thank you, Barry, and seconded Trish. Any other discussion on that? All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. So recommendation 2
Happy to move that way.
and seconded Councillor Stewart. Any discussion on those? Everybody happy to take the 3 roads together? Yep. Okay, all those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Recommendation 3. Okay, so we have a mover and a seconder with agreed. Any discussion of that? All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. Recommendation number 4. I'm trying to just give me a second to understand what it means. Agree to consult on inclusion of completeness of the shared. You moved that, Councillor Soper, seconded by Councillor Crackett. Any other discussion? All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you. That ends the agenda, public agenda. We actually have no public excluded. We do, however, have a short discussion between Council and the Chief Executive. So if councillors will